Welcome back to Malamic Art. This is Mikki, and I am opening a new product here, and this is the Lukas Aquarell 1862 12 watercolor tin sets. That's a mouthful. So today is this cute little tin, has a little thumb hold on the bottom and little feet, and it's very smooth and shiny and enameled, and they have these little mixing wells here. It does kind of lay a little, lays really well actually, nice and flat. And this little guy comes out, so if you want another mixing space, but nobody ever does. Yeah, so apparently their light fast rating is always excellent or very excellent, because the pigments they used for production are obtained from the top quality raw materials, and they say that none of their color shades has a lower light fastness rating than 6 or 7 on the international standardized 8-step blue wool scale. That's the British scale. So which means that they're either 1 or 2 light fastness in America, but the 2 would be closer to the 1. So that's really great. I mean, and I think all of these are mostly single pigments, I believe. And I'm going to do a little time lapse so I can open up all these little treasures and sort these kind of the way I want. And then we'll get to swatching them on this paper. This paper is a cheaper water block. It's fluid watercolor paper, cold press finish. This is not the best I've tried, but they do okay. And I even have a smaller version. I just like to take to, in my purse with me whenever I go, just to try to sketch something out. Their blocks are only glued on 2 sides. So they have a 100 fluid 100 version that's 100% cotton that I want to try too. But I got these, and I'm going to be doing a swatch test on these right after I open these. I'll see you right after that. Okay, so I am back from unwrapping them all, and that was fun up until the point where some of them were kind of, I think one of them was kind of hanging out, and then I peeled it up and I found these little gums underneath, and these little tablets, they don't really fit there without the gum, so I'm assuming that's why they do that. But I just noticed there's a lot of loss of paint per little pan, because these are like jacked up on these little guys. So these are about 1 milliliter to 2.2 centimeters thick. So that's okay. So we're gonna put these aside. I couldn't get them out of some, but I think it's probably good that they're there, because you don't want them falling out. But there is this to keep them from falling out, so I'm not really sure why they... Anyway, moving on. So let's start here. They have a, they say on their information page that their re-wetting is like no other. So like the reconstitution of paint. So these have been obviously dry, and it's true, I'm getting some pigment already just from that little swipe, which is really cool. And this is the lemon yellow. And it is a primary color. It is transparent, staining, and series number 2. And they're most light fast. So let's go on to the next. This is Cadmium Yellow Light. Oh, I'm sorry, the lemon yellow was PY3 for the pigment number. And Cadmium Yellow Light is opaque and staining. Very good light fastness, excellent light fastness. Look at that pigment swirl in my water. I don't know if you can see that. It's really cool. So this is very, very, very pigmented. Lots of color. Okay, so this is a PY35. Next is the yellow ochre, which is what I'm interested in for portraits. Let's see. This is semi-transparent. Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more opaque. And it's not, which is cool. So this is non-staining, which means it'll lift off the paper well. PY42. Next is Cadmium Red Light, which is basically an orange. It says it's very opaque and staining. Series 3, very light fast. Okay, it's nice. Next is Magenta Primary Red. It's PR122. It has the lesser grade of light fastness. It's transparent, staining. Why can't I get that to go? And it's series 2. Paper wanted just to soak that up. Next is an English Red Light, and I added it up here because it is considered a red or a Venetian red or something. Very opaque, very staining. I didn't see that they had a granulation scale on their informational page, so we'll just have to see what happens on this paper. Next is Cyan Blue, Primary Blue, and I'm glad we have these 3 because I really wanted to try out that primary triage. Try Powerhouse. So, okay, I can't get it any darker than that. A little bit. Okay, next is Ultramarine Light, PB29. They have a deep as well. And it is, oh, these are both very light fast. This is considered semi-transparent. Staining in series 2. The reason why I do the water at the end is so I can see how the paint travels down and possibly check for granulation. next is a Chromium Oxide Green, and it is said all different ways. Oxide Green Chromium. And some people do not like this color. I absolutely love this color. And it is opaque, staining, and it's series number 2. Very light fast. Oops, I go. This is phthalo green. Always beautiful. Make a really good turquoise with that cyan, or I believe that's how you say it, cyan. Really staining. And it says it's semi-transparent. Series 2 PG7. This was PG17. Trying to get that. Okay. Next is Raw Umber. And this is, I messed up on the, on the pigments here. So very opaque, very staining. And it's a PY155, which is a yellow, a PR176, which is a red, and a PBK7, which is a black. And that is a more of a, I would say an olive green brown at this point. And last but not least is the Payne's Gray. And this Raw Umber is a little less light fast. So this is a very bluish, indigo-ish Payne's Gray, which I think is gorgeous. So I'm a fan of indigo. Okay, so this is PR176, PB151, PBK7. So this is a red, blue, and black, and it's really pretty. So what do you think? These are all really beautiful, bright colors. Definitely have some primary color choices. Even though they're saying that this lemon yellow is transparent, it does look semi-transparent to me. In fact, let's see, this one looks the most transparent. And possibly magenta. But I see some little opaqueness there. I'm gonna let these dry and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back with some close-ups of the granulation, etc., staining. And looks like we have granulating on this end and more transparent on this end, except for that English red light. Okay, so I'm going to do some lift tests to see if any of this watercolor can lift off of this paper. Now this paper is sized, has sizing on the outside of the paper rather than blended into the fibers, so we'll see how this does. The lift is, will this paint come up and you'll see the white paper underneath. So a little bit with that one. This is my lift brush. Like it? It's been doing so much lifting, it's starting to wobble. So here's this one. Ooh, yellow ochre did pretty well. It says it's staining, so I don't think this will come up very well. I think mainly this is due to the paper. So you can get some pretty good lift. This one says it's staining, so yeah, that was definitely staining. By the way, here's another tip. If you have someone who's getting rid of old cloth diapers, bleach them, and then you have rags for watercolor or oil or whatever medium. So let's see. Yeah. Anywhere where you see the circle with that's black, you know, completely filled in, that's considered staining, which means it stains the paper and it's hard to lift. So there we have it. Payne's Gray. All right. I don't think I didn't fill out the Payne's Gray. All right. Well, let's see if I have the paper. I will fill this out. Okay, so this is supposed to be opaque and staining, and a series 2. Sorry about that, I missed one. So let's see. I don't know. These all did really well on the lift test, except for the Cad Yellow, Chromium Oxide Green, English Red Light, Cad Red definitely staining. I think, you know, if you really wanted to lift really well, you could use a nib from if you have one of these, or just carefully pick at it with a X-Acto knife, and you can get some nice sharp lines that way. Just be really careful. Alright, so I'm going to do a little, I don't know, some kind of painting with these colors, and if you don't see me after that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining me today. Hi, so I'm back, sort of giving a little recap of what I think about these guys. I kind of forgive them for doing this weird, like, glue thing, because these colors are really saturated, and I will have no problems creating tons of watercolors with this little pan set for a very long time. So if this bothers you, I'm sorry. It kind of bothered me in the beginning, but I don't care anymore. The colors are all really great. This is after being dried for 24 hours. Has a nice matte finish. And this painting, I did a few layers, and it took me a few layers, but I was going really carefully with the colors. And I'm sure you can build up a really, really bright color with them, but I wasn't really going for super bright with this. I had a lot of fun. This paper actually did pretty well. It laid flat again, so I'm kind of impressed with this little block. And well, thanks for joining me with this video, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.